up, everybody? I'm Sal Kwani. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
All right, so tell me what Mos Def shirt said. Now, he's not Mos Def anymore.
No, he's no longer Mos Def. He goes by Yasin Bey.
What is that?
What is that?
Is that Muslim? Is he like?
I
Why
think it
did
is
he change
Muslim.
his name?
I think it's Muslim. It has something to do with his religion, his belief system.
Okay.
But so before we get into it, before I get to that, I gotta say this. Kanye West has been in the media again, or in the news.
Yeah, Reggie's
again.
telling me this stuff about how much White Lives Matter, and Reggie ordered a couple shirts. He's gonna be wearing around his Oakland neighborhood proudly.
I love how quickly you flipped the script from.
I just
from
couldn't
before the
believe my
record button
ears.
is hit. If you guys could see us before the record button, you'd be like, "Oh my goodness, these guys they're really friends." And then he hits record and Sal turns on.
So how many shirts did you want me to get you, Reg? I don't know if I agree with this.
You asked for, what'd you ask for? 8? You wanted 8 for yourself personally, right? All different colors, right?
Italian Lives Matter.
Yeah. So I got 8 shirts coming for you. And,
so this is Kanye's new shirt. He invented this shirt?
Kanye, let's get into it. Kanye was caught wearing a shirt that said "White Lives Matter."
Caught nothing. And then he was also he purposely wore it.
He purposely, not caught. He purposely wore a shirt that said "White Lives Matter." And then I guess he's appealing to a different demographic because black people ain't fucking with his music no more. I'm telling you right now, the last couple of albums, trash, bro. Trash. So I'm assuming that maybe his demographic now is a lighter shade, and so he's like, I gotta get these people to like my shit because my joint is trash, right? So he's wearing a White Lives Matter shirt, and then he was pictured wearing a coat with the Confederate flag on the sleeve, and I'm like, what is this dude doing? And then let's go for the trifecta, right? He going for 3. Then he got caught going in on Jews. So now they're calling him anti-Semitic, right? But the cool thing is one of his former friends, I don't know if they're friends still now or whatever, but Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def, was wearing a White Lives Matter shirt, but he had the V in lives like blanked out. And if you take the V out of lives, it now turns into lies. So he had a shirt that said White Lies Matter, which that's the shirt that I'm trying to order. Right? Like those are the shirts I'm trying to wear. So yeah, man, it's interesting. I feel like Kanye needs to just
get on his meds.
Well,
can we get him on his meds, man. Please? I think he's been diagnosed bipolar.
Yeah, but then that was recanted. That was supposed to be recanted.
Nah. What I read, he's diagnosed bipolar. Motherfucker, crazy, dude. You can't come on, man. You can't be saying you can't be blaming slaves
for their
and wearing Confederate flags and not be crazy. You can't run for president and have no fucking idea what you're doing. Come on, man. Dude needs help. That's all I'm gonna say.
Before we go any further, let me just address this real quick. Because someone is bipolar doesn't mean they're crazy. Because you and I both have friends who are bipolar and they're not crazy, right?
Maybe at some point.
Manic. They can be manic, right? High and low, and they can be a little unstable at times.
That's crazy to me.
Oh, damn, dude. Maybe is this the kind of controversy you're trying to stir up so we get more viewers?
I'm just saying the guy needs mental help. All right. Can we get him mental help?
I agree. He needs some
however you want to give it to him. I don't care.
Dude, what he needs to do is he needs to just focus on his life, man. You got kids. Focus on your kids. Pick them up, take them to school, start making lunches, getting the house in order.
Making lunches. Kanye gonna be making some lunches.
Yeah, he needs to. He needs to get back down to brass. He needs to get down to the basics. Dude, he needs to get down to the basics and stay the fuck out of the media. Stay away from a microphone and a camera. He's got enough money. Like he's losing endorsements, right? Like,
do you think his kids get embarrassed when dad shows up with the White Lives Matter shirt and a turkey sandwich?
When they're older, they will be. Right now, they're just happy to see a turkey sandwich. They probably can't read that well. So, yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's just it's one of those things like, dude, you've made your money, you've made your mark, you've done your thing.
That's the thing. He didn't even make his money. He even get his clothing line up. His wife had to drop the money.
Well,
Kim Kardashian had to help him. This dude, come on, man.
Come on. That was his wife. They were together. That's a part of it, right?
That was right.
That's part of it. But either way it goes, look, he's got enough. I say, step away from the limelight, bro. Like, step away from the camera and the microphone. Like,
you don't do that.
Disappear into obscurity. No one likes your music anymore anyway. And now we're starting to not like you. It was now look, when the music was good, I'm gonna tell you right now. This is how black people are, and I hate to say this because I hate making blanket statements. But when the music is good, black people would give your ass a pass, right? Right? You can say some dumb shit.
That's like that Chappelle bit. What about he made a Thriller, man?
Exactly. I'm like, if the music is on point, bro, black people, we will turn a blind eye. We'd be like, he did what? Damn, but that one song slap. Oh.
Okay, but how many times? Because I mean, it's one thing you're like, all right, dude, Kanye said the slavery thing. Oh, all right, now he's wearing a Confederate flag. Oh, all right, now he's got a Trump hat. Oh, all right, now he's got White Lives Matter. Like, how many passes are you gonna give him?
And then now he's anti-Semitic. You're like,
right.
Well, I'll play this. He gets no more passes now because the last album, Donda, was trash, bro. And it's hard for me to say it. I had to embrace being able to say that because I'm such a huge Kanye West fan. Like, I love his early music, but based on everything that he's saying now, his first album was called College Dropout, right? But based on everything he's
Graduation,
saying now,
some good albums.
Graduation, late registration, Graduation, 808s and Heartbreak. That joint is bananas. My Dark Beautiful Fantasy is bananas. But what I'm saying is, based on everything he's saying now, he probably should have stayed in college. because he's saying some of the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Stuff that you probably learn about in college with critical thinking class.
Well, it's just like stuff that's off the cuff. And you know, like if you were there in his entourage and you gave him this advice, you would have been fired. You'd be already out of the job. That's the thing. He's surrounded by people telling him what he wants to hear. Everything he says is goddamn genius. And you know, he just rambles. Sometimes ramblings doesn't mean you're genius. You just a little cray.
Hey, look, I agree, but I think I would love to be the guy in his group. Now, not that this is my MO, but if I'm the guy in the group who's like trying to tell him, yo, you can't say that, man, that's not true, and he fires me, then I go on the TV circuit, right? I do all the rounds, and then
people will be like, that's just that bitter employee Reggie. You just a Kanye hater, man. White lives matter, Reg. White lives matter.
Right? And I'll say, and you know what? My book will be out next week. Please go buy it on newsstands. I'll give you all the inside dirt on Kanye West and his mindset, right? So, no, not even. But yeah, man, it's pretty sad. Honestly, it's sad to see because this dude is influential, right? Like, he does have a following, he does have a presence, and he has a platform. And for him to be on that platform spewing out the nonsense that he is now, it's detrimental. It's detrimental to
it's crazy.
Everything we're trying to do as people.
Like Kim Kardashian, like, I don't think she's a talented person in any way. You know, of course, she got famous off a sex tape, but she, I believe.
Time out.
Yeah, did I say something inaccurate there?
Dude, her talent is her ability to be famous without having.
Well, that's the thing. She's smart. She's smart, and so she knows how to like stay rich and famous.
Well, stay relevant. Off of that, they stay relevant. Yeah. They all have. I mean, look, their whole thing,
but it's all grown off of one sex tape. Let's be honest.
Well, no, but also it's the show, letting people into their lives, and then
but all that came because of the sex tape.
Dude, people watch the show, bro. People watch that show, and it's like, now look, you can't take away the fact that they are attractive people. They're very good-looking people.
Well, they've made themselves to look a certain way through lots of plastic surgery, and when you look at pictures of before and after, it's kind of sad, bruh.
Whatever. All I'm saying is that they're fucking billionaires.
But here's the point. Here's my point. I'm not even shitting on it for it. Like, look, yeah, it's whack. I'm not into them, whatever. Yeah, but she still seems like an intelligent person. But now she is stuck with this man, Kanye, forever because of the kids. Like,
no,
you know.
Not forever.
I mean, well, no man, till 18 maybe, but still, those kids are going to see both of them throughout their lives, and so she's forever going to be connected. And I just like, I don't know how she got swooped up into this.
Well, hold up.
I'm glad she was able to get out,
Well, let's okay. You want to talk about how she got swooped up into this? Let's talk about the fact that she has, unfortunately, most people look, a lot of people make a lot of bad decisions all the time, right? That's what's happening in the world constantly.
Like Chloe and Tristan Thompson.
That's a bad decision twice, three times.
Three times the lady.
But my point being is that obviously the problem is that she's in the public's eye, so we get to see all of her bad decisions, right? We've seen her marry Chris Humphries. We've seen her fuck Ray J on a very weak and bad sex tape. We know that she married some other producer. We know that as soon as she broke up with Kanye or left him, she started dating Pete, whatever his name is,
Pete
Davidson, and then he went and got a tattoo. How dumb is that?
Wait, you forgot about what, Reggie Bush? And
Reggie Bush.
What was that guy for the Cowboys receiver? And did she marry someone else on basketball? I don't even remember.
No, that was Chris Humphries. That was a basketball player.
But wasn't there someone else after that?
No, not after that. But there was a guy.
I got confused because her sister was with Lamar.
But look, this is the thing. She hasn't done anything that the average person hasn't done. She's dated multiple people. She's been married and divorced and married again, right? That's normal everyday life. The problem is that she's in front of the public's eye, so we get to see all these. So it seems like a lot, right? But it's really not that much. But ultimately, based on her position, the decisions haven't been that great, right? They just haven't been that great. So the fact that she's in a situation where she got kids by Kanye West and now he's totally flipped out and she's going to be tied to him, that seems like it's kind of par for the course based on decisions that she's made throughout her life. Right.
Okay.
But she's made a lot of good decisions, though. She's made a lot of good decisions too, right? Like she did. Her and her mom got together and decided to release the sex tape, and and that turned into a thing, right?
That was a good start.
Dude, Ray J is still. It's so funny because Ray J is in that tape, and
it's funny. I saw a Punk'd with Ray J because I forgot he's Brandy's brother.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it was funny, and it was like probably right before that time, and I'm like, oh, this guy's about to launch the Kardashians.
Dude, it was crazy, man, because that tape, it actually made Ray J came off kind of cool in the tape because everybody was like, yo, all right, Ray J packing, right? Ray J bringing some heat, right? Kim, the fucking was weak at best. It was softcore. It was so bad.
Wasn't this like, after? This was after the Paris Hilton one, right?
I think Paris Hilton came after that.
I can't remember.
But Paris Hilton's tape was whack too.
They had like green eyes.
Yeah, it was whack. It was so terrible. I was like, like honestly, when I watched the Kim Kardashian sex tape, you talk about being disappointed. I was like, I could have done something. I should have read a book, right? Like I should have went for a hike. I could have had a picnic by myself and had more fun, right? Like I could have went for a walk and pet a stray dog. I would have had a better time than watching that damn weak ass sex tape. And Paris Hilton's sex tape was just, I mean, come on, man. She was a beanpole. So seeing her with no clothes on was like, whatever. Because she's famous, right? Like,
it's all people care about now, man. It's fucking terrible.
It's
what happened. So wait, here's a show. I forgot, man. Like, so you get into Dahmer yet, bro?
So I watched the first episode, and I'm gonna be honest. Hold up, though. I watched the first episode, and I was a little tired because I started watching that late, and so I was kind of dozing on the very first part of it. But then once he went to that gay bar and he brought that black dude home, and then he had the dude in the spot. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with this dude, right? And then the black dude is able to get out, right? To get out, he comes back with the cops, and I was like, how dumb is Dahmer that he was like, they were like, hey, can you let us in? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, dude, you got knives and blood and pictures, like how? It made me think. I was like, does he want to get caught? Like, did he want to get caught? But it's just.
Well, at this point, at that point of it, he already got through 17 of them. All right. 17. And he was so like, whatever.
Maybe. He was so overconfident, I think.
The guy he brought home, if you remember, there's like blood and shit all over the mattress and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he just killed a guy. And that guy was supposed to be number 18 and he got away. which is insane. And there's interviews now. I'm waiting to finish the series because I want to see the interviews with that guy, because he's literally like saying like, just like in the show, he goes, "Hey, he told me he's gonna eat my heart."
Yeah, he's like, I want to hear your heartbeat because I'm gonna eat it
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then they found a fucking human head in the fridge.
I saw
Like
that part.
the
And
whole
they
thing.
found two hearts. They found
Yeah,
two hearts.
and then his dad, I just like his dad was just like, "Oh, is he in trouble?" He's like, "Sir, we found a human head in the fridge."
Yeah, that's like what it's like he was a strange kid growing up, but I didn't foresee this shit. Right. Now it's weird,
So
man, because I don't know how I feel about this stuff. Like I'm not really into gory true crimes and like hearing about like how this is atrocious shit, right? Like I mean, we're fascinated by his story and what he did and his mentality, but it's hard for me not to think about 17 people who lost their lives because some dude got a strange scratch. He got an itch, right?
so
Hey,
that's
dude, hold up, time out. Can we pause? Because I got it. This is my electrician from Birmingham. Let me take
this
this real quick.
motherfucker.
I
We
know.
should record it, dude.
No, because I don't know
This
what
would
it's
be
about. Hold on a
funny.
second.
Everything all right at the homestead in Alabama?
Man, no, a guy who was doing some painting for me asked, I was telling him about the electrical work that I was getting done, and he asked me how much the guy charged. And I told him, and he was like, "Oh man, that's a great deal." And I was like, "Yeah, and the guy does good work, right? Or he shows up on time, he's working the whole time, like he's doing his job, and he cleans up afterwards and replaces every, you know what I mean? Like I was really pleased with the work, right?" And the guy was like, oh, "Okay, well, shoot, man, hey, give him my card because I got some work I need to get done." I'm like, "Okay." So I pass on the card, excuse me, and now the electrician just called me and basically was like, "Look, man, that guy that you referred to me, he doesn't do good business." He's like, I was doing some work for him, and basically, long story short, he cheated me out of some money and he was talking crazy and he's trying to bully me. um and so he was just basically warning me that that guy is can potentially be unstable, and that my
God
place is
damn.
not necessarily safe with him around it, right? And so the business that me and the painter have, it's legitimately just ended, right? Like
Okay.
there were guys over today doing some work, and they just finished. So once that's done, then that's it. Because I've paid him for everything. This is just some minor things here and there. So he and I are done business wise. But this guy was just wanting to give me the heads up of
Drums, dude, drama. So no, dude, Dahmer, you gotta watch it. You gotta keep going. Now, look, I understand what you're saying about other people, but that's what's great about it. Ryan Murphy does amazing stuff. You get the perspective of some of the people he killed, some of their families, the neighbor, which is something you never even think of.
well,
And the
yeah, the
neighbor
woman
had a
next
huge
door,
part.
right?
Yeah,
Who's
and
smelling stuff and who's like, I've been
right.
calling you guys, right?
And there's
You
so
know,
much more of how much he's gotten away with it, how much
I'll continue to watch it,
racial
but like I was
discrimination
saying,
in the
I have
police
to.
department and homophobia in the police department led to him able to get away with this longer. It's crazy, bro.
Okay. No, I'm gonna keep watching. I'm gonna keep watching. But I'm glad you said that the show will focus on the people because I don't want to get caught up in the fascination of what he did
No,
and
and that's not what
voyeurism of it.
yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
talk.
and
I'm like I think about the families, man. The people in
no,
the
there's
families whose
well,
lives were
that's the
impacted
thing.
by this.
Just as gross as him, eating a liver is how these families have gotten screwed over. How, you know, cops took a 14-year-old boy back to Dahmer and gave him back to him. And then that kid ended up dying.
Wait, wait,
And
wait, wait,
like,
wait, 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 wait. I hadn't even got to that part yet. So
that's next
now,
episode. You'll see it. It was a famous thing. And these cops still get protected and rewarded. And it's really crazy. So when you see the amount of level they get into everything, man. And then how this happened, how's this start? And that's very interesting. And then like I watched like, they talk about the first murder or two, and then I watch it him interview, and he described it exactly how the show was showing it. So it's like a lot of this stuff, it's all public record because a lot of this happened in court and what happened and all the it's crazy, man. It's just it's crazy. And like how this he was able to get away with this as long as he did. and he's attacking those like minorities and stuff, and in a very white in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, damn.
And nobody so and
Yeah,
gay, and he's going after gay men, and it's
he's
just
going after a minority group within a minority group,
weird.
a sub minority group, right?
Right. And so a lot of it too is like they're trying, figure out, and they said that's like a thing, like it's a thing to have a sexual turn on to cutting stuff open. And that's kind of like,
So that was his. So I don't know his whole motivation behind those. Also,
see, that's
Dahmer's
the
whole
thing
thing was that he
too.
was getting off on this
Well, yeah. So what do you, so,
sexually.
and
Oh,
like he would jerk off on these dead corpses, dude. And like
dude.
he even said this, it wasn't him, it wasn't even the killing part. He didn't like the killing part, it was controlling the body afterwards. And then he had ideas of like he would drill in their heads and put like acid or something in there because he was trying to make them like living zombies. And it dude's he was crazy, bro. He's crazy. But they
Hey man,
but
hold on. Just you might have to put up a warning for our viewers and listeners. This episode is going to be a little graphic and gory
he
because
used to
that
take
what you just said. I'm
roadkill
like,
with his dad. He used to go take roadkill with his dad, and then you see his dad's perspective. And the funny thing is, in this show, the dad is the dad from Step Brothers.
yeah. Hey man, okay, don't say anymore because if our viewers haven't
No,
seen
I
it, then
won't.
maybe
But
they may.
But what's
Because I'm like,
great
this
about
is
this show is
well, it's
they put you
Halloween.
there. They put you in that spot.
I know,
And I'm
but
telling you,
that's
and here's the thing, and all these some people go, oh, you glorify. I had no idea this much information about the victims when I was, in Ohio growing. I mean, I was a kid and stuff, but like, but I learned so much more because of the show. They've done their research, you know what I mean?
okay. Well, I mean, he was alive for a long time. They had him in custody, so I'm sure they interviewed him and psychoanalyzed him and
I mean, not long, it was a
took.
couple of years, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's long enough for him
So
to
I
talk
got one
about
more
what
episode
he
to
did.
go. So that's where I think it's going to go down. They're going to take him out. I think it's about time.
Well, he got electrocuted, right? He got killed.
No, he got life. He
Oh,
got
he got
like 15 life prisons.
yeah, but he's
And
dead
it's
now
fun.
though. But he
Yeah,
got killed, right?
he got killed by prisoners, I believe.
Okay. I knew he
But
wasn't around anymore.
there was a funny line where some guy's like, they should have gave you electric chair, Dahmer. He's like, I asked them to. He's like, they want to do it.
He would do it. That's funny.
And that's the thing,
All
because
right, man.
what's
You can't
chilling
give up the
about
whole
him,
show, bro.
I
You
won't, I
can't.
won't. But he's very intelligent. You know what I mean?
Dahmer is?
Yeah. And
Is
here's
he
another
really?
thing. Well, yeah, like he's a very smart guy, and like he knew get how to do all this stuff. He learned. But here's another thing. People, he's got to be somewhat charming or something. People attracted to him because he brought multiple guys back to his apartment.
Yeah,
And
no doubt about
you know
that.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
he definitely, there was something about him that
Well,
he could
yeah,
do
he
that.
had something. I mean, but come on, man. Let's just be honest, dude. Let's just be honest. This is a guy who fucks other dudes, right? And look, guys who are straight will fuck anything. Like if on a night out, if they have a couple drinks, they'll go home with whoever. Guys are pretty easy, right? Let's just be honest. Guys are
Right.
pretty easy and they're pretty dumb. And it's all about, you get singular focus, right? I mean, he had to be charming probably just a little bit, but he probably had to just be more willing,
And yeah, well, he also would
right?
drug people.
Yeah, he would drug
And
people. He just had to be willing. Guys are dumb, so I'm not gonna give him too many
so you've
props
only
because he was
watched the
able to
first
bring home.
episode, bro?
Yeah, that's
Man,
it.
you gotta get up in there now. It's gonna start picking up, dude.
Hey man, look, I'm gonna just tell you right now, and I'm telling everybody who's listening, like, I'm watching _Handmaid's Tale, which I love.
See, but that's
right?
make believe, dude. That's
But
not real.
that joint is intense, right? That's intense. And then I try to watch, and then I'm watching House of the Dragon, and then I'm
Yeah, we can
watching
talk about that.
Ring of the Power.
I'm
Ring
all
of
caught
Power,
up on that.
right?
Skeletor, dude. Dude. So you're all
It's half his face. What I'm
This
saying is
the House of
Dahmer.
the
It's like
Dragon,
it's
dude.
too much. It's too much, especially
Well,
with. Yeah, I'm
I'll
not
say
trying to
this
see
about
people get
Dahmer.
disintegrated in acid.
I can only watch one episode at a time. No, they don't show all that.
No, I know, but just I
I mean,
mean, the skulls and the hearts and the heads and then
it
and then the
it ain't
pictures.
no worse than
The
House of the Dragon.
dude, the Polaroid pictures that the cop was looking at, he was like,
Oh, that shit was
you
crazy.
see,
What he
you see a
found out it
guy
was
sitting
real.
there, you see the guy sitting there, right, with his head and his whole body on the couch, and then the next one is like a body slumped over with no head, and the guy's like, these are real. You're under arrest. Like, what the hell? This is
no,
like,
you're right. He was pretty cocky at that point.
dude.
That he would
That's
just
what.
let
And
him in his
okay,
apartment like that.
so let's talk
And he
about
got
that
away
real
with
quick.
it so many times.
I know, but see, that's what I was gonna say. That's what we need to talk about. So there's a level of confidence and cockiness, and then where you kind of like people lose they lose shit, what is it? They lose that sense of being safe and aware, right? Because he got away with it so many times, and now he's taking more time with this guy, right? He's being more revealing, right? He's taking more chances. Like he's done it so much that he feels super confident, and this dude is still plotting, and he just had a moment. It's like that with, I feel like it's like that with bank robbers, right? Like if you rob a bank, and I've always said this, if you rob a bank and you get away with it, then you got to be out of the bank robbing game, right? Like it's done.
But what happens is, it's key to realize his whiteness helped him get away with it in a predominantly, minority area where like he, Black, Asian, Latin, like he went after everybody.
Oh, did he?
I think honestly, I think the only, I'm not 100%, but I think only the first two were white, and those two were supposedly like an accident or whatever. But then once he started stalking them, and once he moved out of his grandma's, and he lived right in the ghetto.
Dude, you're giving away the whole story.
I
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm just trying
to say as a society level.
Yeah. I can say that. I mean, yeah,
it definitely addresses that, and I appreciate
hold up though. Let's take it a step further. I mean, yes, Jeffrey Dahmer was targeting minorities, right? Minority men, but we live in a country right now where minority women disappear at an exponentially high rate, and there's nothing being said about it. Nothing. So yeah, we live in a society where minorities are marginalized and minority people are not valued. Thus, getting back to Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, right? The idea, right?
Like buddy Kanye.
Yeah, Kanye. So it's like, yo, man, it shouldn't even, I mean, we can go Black Lives Matter, we can go Brown Lives Matter, we can go Asian Lives Matter. It's marginalized people lives matter in this country because they are targeted and they are not valued on a certain level. Because whenever I see those numbers about women who disappear, the amount of women who disappear and never found, dude, that is disturbing on so many levels. So yeah, I'm glad they caught this dude, right? But yeah, you're right. It's endemic to the society, man, where people aren't valued if you're not white. And if you're white, then obviously you can get away with some shit for a very long time.
You can get away with murder.
You can get away with murder 17 times.
17 times.
17
it's
times.
So crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's talk about House of the Dragon. You all caught up?
I am.
So I am too. I'm gonna say, man, it's a little slow. It's a little talky compared to the original Game of Thrones. It's not the original.
No, the original Game of Thrones had a lot of talking in it too.
Yeah, but it had way more characters. You're jumping all around.
No, dude, we didn't have anything to measure it against because it was all new to us. So we were all in on all the talking. Right, because it was a story being developed. Now,
but there was already White Walkers. There was a White Walker in the very first episode of Game of Thrones.
Yes,
there's dire wolves. There's there's dragons in this one. But
and he took it.
Damn, it's just
Ned Stark took a hit the first episode. Right, he took a hit the first episode.
That's true.
Yeah, he did. He took a hit. Yes, I get it, but look, for me personally, House of the Dragon, I'm loving it. I love all the talking because I love the dialogue. I love to hear the mentality. I love to hear where they're coming from, like what's the motivation behind things. Like when you listen to the hand, now the new hand of the king, who's the old hand who's been brought back, which I was like, that's
the High Towers or whatever.
The High Towers. And for him to go to Alicent, the queen, and be like, I didn't think you had it in you to play this game, but to play it, I think we can win this, right? Like this idea that kings and queens are not necessarily this God-given thing that they possess. It's like, no, you can be manipulative, right? And controlling, and you can interfere and you can change it. And like was it the Valerian Corlys was saying to his wife, she goes, but your blood. He was like, history doesn't remember blood. They remember names. Right?
That's true though.
Yeah. So it's about status and the name and having control. So I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it.
I mean, yeah, it's Yeah, it's fun. And the age progression is another thing where
Yeah, that
it's
kind
a
of
little
sucks.
because you don't really, it's hard for you to even care for some of these characters because you see them and then they're dead or whatever. And you're like, but I never even cared for that person much. You know what I mean? And
Well,
then there's a bunch of progression jumps. And that's funny how Sir Christian doesn't age at all this time. He looks exactly the damn same, but everybody else is aging. It's just,
he's
and
aged
then
a little bit. They put a
and
little bit of
then
gray in there. They
and
put a little
what's
bit of
the
gray.
king's name? Viserys. Oh my god, this dude. I was reading. I saw saying they called him a bag of bones.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so
Hey,
crazy.
dude,
So
I have to admit, man, the age and the time jump, it's a little awkward, but I mean,
it keeps
considering not a
happening
whole
too.
well, because not a whole lot is happening. What are we gonna see? We're gonna see Rhaenyra, go through her early 20s and what not have sex with her husband and get pregnant by the high towers, right? Stone, not high towers, but the stone, whatever is the stones or whatever.
See, I
I
don't even
mean,
know
that's
everyone's name. It's so weird.
yeah, well, there's Stone, right? There was a Stone. So, but it is kind of interesting to see the little gimpy guy who's willing to
Oh yeah, the new what do they call him? The new Littlefinger.
the new Littlefinger. He's the Lord of whatever, and now
Yeah,
he's High
yeah.
Lord of whatever because he took out his family. It's interesting, man. I have to admit, I'm all in. But that last episode where King Viserys was talking to Alicent, but he thought he was talking to Rhaenyra,
Right. Well, here's
and
another thing. They both have kids named Aegon, which is so fucking
it's
stupid too.
family names, man. They keeping it all. They keep it all. They try. You see how they try to keep the blood. We're trying to maintain the blood,
So weird,
right, as
dude.
pure as
And
possible
here's
by
my
fucking
question:
each
how
other.
come in both series before the in the very first seasons? I mean, shit, almost the first episode in the one. But George R. Martin, dude, he's always got to do incest. Like, what's that about, bro? What's his obsession?
Well, because it's true. It happened in real life, right?
But you
Like there
got
were
to
two
do
things.
all your shows about that.
Well, look, dude, there were two things that brought down monarchies over the years, over the histories of the world. One of them was incest, and the other one was lead pipes, because they had all lead pipes and they were ingesting lead, which makes you crazy, right? It'll
Oh
drive you
yeah, a lot of
insane.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the lead pipes is what killed him, and the
You
incest,
know, I've probably talked about this
marrying your
before.
brothers
That
and sisters. Huh?
that's why they have wakes because of that. Because people would have lead and then they would pass out, and because they'd have it in their drinks or whatever,
Right.
and
And
then
make
when they
sure they were
pass out, and
dead.
they might wake up 3 days later.
Yep.
So you always had to make sure before that they were dead.
And that's why they call it awake,
Right?
because
Is
people
that
will be
crazy?
like,
Right.
ah, oh, shit. It's like
So
he ain't
right.
dead. That's all right.
But anyway, he's heavy on the incest, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, the incest is it's a it's a real thing in this world, right? In the world of fantasy. But I hate to say it, but it's a real thing in the real world too.
What do you think about these the dragons so far? That one big ass dinosaur looking one with hair.
Vagar. Vagar.
How do you know his name? Oh, because you read all the subtitles.
Yeah, that way they talk about he's like it was a fair trade. An eye for a Vagar, right?
No, for a dragon.
For a dragon, and that
So the
dragon,
dragon is Vagar.
Vagar is the dragon, the biggest
I
one.
mean,
Well, okay, so this is what we
he
talked about
looks
this, but
big old slow, but they haven't done too much. There was that one action, like the third episode, where Damon,
yeah,
goes on that suicide mission. But other than that, it's been pretty low on
they're
the
pretty
action.
tame. Yeah, it's the dragons only play. The dragons only come out when there's war for the most part, right? And so there's been peace
Yeah.
times for 50 plus years, 60, 70 years or something. Um, but this is the thing, dude. What they don't know is Vagar is so big because Vagar lives outside. The more they're keeping the dragons in the dragon pit, the smaller they're going to get, because dragons are like koi fish, right? They grow to
Right.
the size of the environment, right? So if
Right.
the environment is small, then the dragon's going to be small. But they don't know that. And we know
This,
that
this
because the
is
dragons disappear
yeah, it's
for a
true.
while, right? So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it, man. The one that I'm not really too pleased with is the Ring of Power, the Lord of the
I
Rings
haven't
joint.
watched any of them. I have some new jokes about it, and it's been doing well, but I haven't watched any of it yet. Why are you hating on it? You don't like the
Uh,
black elves? Is that what your problem is? Are you one of those people?
Yeah, I'm one of those people who don't
One
like
of
the
those
black
racist
elves. And
nerds.
yeah, I'm one of the people who can't believe that they're black Valerians, but I can believe they're dragons, right? Right? It's like, I can't believe that they're black. There's no such thing as black Valerians. But Vagar, the dragon, is okay, right? You can accept that, but you can't accept black people as in this world.
Yeah.
No, man. The problem is that the story just isn't that compelling. Like, I'm not that into the different storylines. I've tried to be, right? Because I understand where it's going. I know that there's the one ring that controls all the rings, Mordor, right? And I know that whole thing, and I know it's coming. So I'm interested in seeing how it came about, but it's just the stories just aren't compelling enough. Like, just
aren't all the episodes out now? Have you
oh,
watched?
I'm not sure. I don't
You're
think
still
so.
catching up. I
Yeah.
think they might have just put them all out now. Is there going to be a
Okay.
season 2?
Well, I haven't seen the end. I mean, it has to be because they don't. I mean, Mordor just was awakened in the last episode I saw. The volcano.
Man, don't be giving it away, bro. Man,
Are you
how
guys
much
watching
further?
this? You
Isn't
guys
this
hear
like
that? You guys see
thousands
how
of
that? You see
years
that
before?
hypocrisy? Everybody out there, you hear that hypocrisy? You hear that? See that? Um, so yeah, the Ring of Power is
How many
it's
years
just not.
before is this one? This is a prequel, right?
This is a prequel. I'm not sure how many years before.
It's like a
I'm not
thousand
sure.
years or something stupid like that.
No, it has to be hundreds though. It's hundreds for sure,
This
right?
one, I
Because it's
mean,
a few
Game of Thrones is
generations.
176, I think.
Well, it started at 200. It started 200 years
I thought
before,
it
and
was
then
176.
oh no, 173. 173. You're right.
Oh
Not
no.
quite 200.
Ring
Um,
of Power years before. I'm gonna look it up.
but I'm also watching She-Hulk, which has been really, really
Oh,
good.
bro, they say 2,942 years.
Oh, okay. 2,000 years prior to?
I think.
That makes sense. I mean, the elves lived for so long.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Shit's crazy.
Yeah, but the story just isn't that compelling on some levels. I'm just not interested in everybody's storyline, right? And then She-Hulk, that has been great. It's been really fun. Loving that. And I watched
Wait, hold on. Wait, what's been really fun?
She-Hulk. She-Hulk has been great.
You haven't watched any of it.
Oh, dude, She-Hulk is so funny, bro. It's like adult and kind of tongue in cheek, and then it kind of makes fun of itself, and they break the fourth wall all the time. It's so fun. It's so funny, and it's so good. I really enjoy
Like
it.
get boring breaking the fourth wall.
No, dude, not the way they're doing it. They're breaking the fourth wall phenomenally well, right? The way they do it, it's really good. It's really good. So,
You
all
know
right.
what
Well,
to
hold up.
do
What was
about
there?
it
There's
too.
something else because you're gonna have to cut this down. We didn't
Yeah,
even
but I
talk
think
about
we
you. We
got a
didn't even
good
talk about
amount.
Oregon and baseball. We've been on here for how long now?
Oh yeah, let me go see how let me look up how Cleveland's doing. So, dude, baseball is so damn frustrating, man. It's so Cleveland has not been getting any hits, any
Mm,
offense in the playoffs. Like they've went on this hot streak. And I just posted this, like they did a 15 inning game
okay.
against the Rays. They had 3 hits the whole game, pretty much. And then they got a homer at the very end, won the game. It was
Oh
awesome.
wow.
There
Okay.
was 15 innings. They got one damn run. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
I
we
mean,
just
that
got a
sounds like a
guy on.
defensive game. I mean, great pitching.
So yeah, so I put something up online all my Cleveland folk could see. I'm like, how are they gonna beat the Yankees getting 3 hits? And our pitching's gonna do it. Our pitching's amazing. And then the first game we got 3 hits again, and our pitching giving up home runs, and
Oh, wait, hold up.
we lose the first game against the Yankees.
Oh, I was gonna say the Cleveland is playing the Yankees right now.
So we beat the Rays, so we moved on, and now we're playing the Yankees. And so in this was before today's game. They've gotten 4 runs in 32 innings.
Oh
They're
wow.
0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. They
Jeez.
have an average batting average of 174, and they have 19 hits with 35 strikeouts. Like, I don't care how good your pitching is. If you're hitting like that, you ain't winning games. You still need runs.
Well, I'm gonna say it sounds like the Yankees are doing a great job because that
Well,
means their
that's
pitching is
over
on
all the
point.
playoffs. That was on the Rays also.
Okay. Well, okay.
But
Okay.
still, yeah.
Yeah, but still.
No.
Um, well, I mean, you look, man, you know how it is. It's like as we wind down to fewer and fewer teams, it really comes down to pitching, right? And if
Baseball's
and if
such a slow, frustrating sport, too.
yeah, but if you're a team that has pitchers that they haven't seen yet, right? Like if you got people coming up from the minors or whoever it is that people haven't seen yet, they don't know their tendencies and they don't know their routine. So it's going to be even harder because on that level, that's the whole thing about pitching on that level is that they started to study the person and they study their tendencies and know
They get it
they're
down.
guessing what pitch they're going to throw, and that's how they get
The
hit off of
point
them.
is, we got some of the best pitchers in the league, and it doesn't make a difference if you don't get hits.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, then you get games that are 0-1.
Right. And hey, it'd be fine if we're winning them, but we're not. And like, I mean, we won against the Rays, but they ain't the Yankees. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And that's also, we'll see. Oh, here we go. We got another hit, top of the
Dude,
fourth. All right. So
I
Cleveland's,
love your dedication to your hometown team's sports,
dude,
man.
we have the record for the largest drought now in a World Series win. No team has gone longer than us. We've gone, I believe, 74 years. The last time was 1948.
Wow. You guys, I don't know why
That was
Cleveland even
before the
continues to
color
have
barrier
sports
was
teams.
broken.
I don't even know why Cleveland continues to have professional sports teams because you guys are always breaking the records for the least
The
amount of
wrong
anything.
reasons.
it's like it's like the last time Cleveland won a championship in this, it's a record breaking 150
Yeah.
years.
And the fucking Browns, they blew another one last week to the Chargers. They had it, friggin' Jacoby Brissett, third game now. He's thrown a game ending interception pretty much. He could have just ran the damn ball in. Our
Oh,
kicker missed 2 field goals. He just needed to make one of them. We would have won. If we
jeez.
lose the Patriots this week, who have a third string quarterback coming in,
Yeah.
and I don't know, man, I might be done. I mean, our defense is supposed to be so great, and they
All
just
right.
give up a 98-yard drive right down our throats. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? We can't have this much talent and do this terrible on defense.
Hey
It's
man,
horrendous. It's
I
too
hate to say it,
frustrating
but
to
Cleveland,
watch.
I'm not gonna say you guys are cursed, but you guys have said it before, the Cleveland curse, right?
Oh, it's been a bad start, and they people keep saying now the writing, they're like, "Yo, if it walks like a 500 team, it quacks like a 500 team."
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. You can't
So you
change it.
can't lose the shitty teams because there's some good teams coming.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
So
All right,
anyway,
man.
bro.
Well,
Well,
so
that was good
baseball.
times. Good review and everything. We'll try and get some guests maybe for coming up.
Hold up, though. I want you just came off the road to Oregon. I mean, you're gonna have to edit this episode. I'm sorry, folks, but you just
Well,
came
there's
off the
not
road
much
to
to
Oakland
say.
to
I did
Oregon.
so there was 3 shows, they were great. The first one was really the best, the small crowd. They were just on everything. They were into it. And that's when it's the best because then you could really work and let it go. Yeah,
Mhm.
there was some I want to say Trump is really fucked up small town America
Mm.
where because this is even before. I mean, I was there when he was president, but now after him lying about, with COVID and then him lying about the election, there's all this distrust and people I knew were like serving people telling me about people they served for years and now became like these mean assholes and trying to rip their masks off at work and calling them idiots and like it's a whole new ugly thing. And you go around and you'd see stickers like "fuck Biden," and the guy has like 3 kids and shit. And it's just like
Mm.
there's an ugliness that he's left in America. And now some people though they really love, like, because so I put up that clip about some woman yelling, "I love Trump." And I was like, "Well, that's too bad, ma'am." I was like, "You may love Trump, but he don't give a fuck about you." But
Right,
mostly people are clapping and loving it. So that's what's great is there's people who get it. You know what I mean?
right.
And they just happen to have to share this town with this whole other side. And it's a very obvious, gross division in
Yeah, dude.
America.
I feel like Trumpism is like a mental disorder, right?
It
Like I feel like the
is.
people who are really into Trump, like there's something that just doesn't connect. Like all the dots don't connect.
Like you can't admit you lost. There's something mentally wrong with you.
Oh, but hold up though. Did you see in the Washington Post where they have countless people who've come forward that was in his cabinet and a part of his staff that says that he admitted that he lost, but he's like, but I feel like we're so close that we may be able to get it. So we'll just we'll just keep trying.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but he's like, we lost, but we're close enough that if we try hard enough, we may be able to get it. So he knows, and he knew that he lost, but he's like, he's still.
And then you see, he told an aide, the aide told the FBI, he told an aide, like, hey, get those boxes out of here. They're coming looking for him. Like, that's obstruction of justice right there, man.
Hey, dude, hold up though. You know what that is?
So you know what that is, man?
You know what that is? That is, you ever see Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman? Okay, there's a point where, to keep the drug dealers out of the school, he put chains on the doors, right? On some of the doors where you can only come in one way and get out one way. Like all the side doors were chained up because the other kids were letting the drug dealers in. So this one lady who was against, Joe Clark, right? Who's against Joe Clark, she decides to bring in the fire chief, right? She brings in the fire chief to catch him with the chains on doors because he had a whole drill where it's like, if he got a heads up that the fire chief was coming, he'd have people take the chains off the doors because it's a fire hazard, right? Well, he didn't get the heads up this time, and he got it late. And the fire chief had a walkie-talkie, right? And so you hear Joe Clark going through. He's like, code red, get those chains off the doors, get those chains off the doors. And then he walks up, and the fire chief is holding the walkie-talkie with a recorder, like, yep, I got you. And the black lady looks at Joe Clark and she goes, we got your black ass now, right? I felt like that was Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump is like, get those boxes out of here. Code red, get those boxes out of here. And the feds show up like, we got your white ass now.
We got your orange ass now.
We got your orange ass now. It's over. So, yeah, obstruction of justice. That dude is, man, it's amazing to me to see how one person can have such a huge impact on a whole nation of people.
Yeah,
like we're sitting here talking about this dude. He's one con artist. That's how good of a con artist. If there was like a hall of fame for con artists, he'd be one of the top inductees.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as good as con artists or we're as dumb as a country.
I think it's a little bit of both, right?
All right, Reg. Well, it's 2-1. Hopefully the Guardians can come back and wrap us up, my friend.
Sal and his baseball. All right. Well, hey guys. I know today's episode has been a little scattered. It's been all over the place.
Some good reviews of shows, I think.
I think so too. I hope Sal has put up a explicit graphic content ahead with his Dahmer descriptions and drilling. But hey, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We had a lot of fun doing it. We always do. We're going to keep doing it. So please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, keep tuning in. That's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin. Peace.